Good morning. How did you get on yesterday? Day off for me, watching the film I Swear about Johnny Davidson. Very good film. I know him from YouTube, so I know his story very well. Well worth a watch. That's my Tuesday film review of the week. Let's get on to the football. I thought it would be interesting. I don't know the scores on the Diana Doors, so let's have a look at each match, research from yesterday, and any potential angles. So, unbeaten in 11 at home, conceded in 11 away. Are Middlesbrough going to concede? Is the 0-0 vulnerable? 0-0 could be vulnerable because Birmingham have beaten first and third, scoring 7 goals in total. Do remember, 2.5 the favourite suggests it might not be a tradable match unless something extraordinary happens. So let's have a look. This is the timings of the goals. First half goals. They are going to concede. So I suppose we got that right. But an emphatic performance from Middlesbrough away at Birmingham, ending their winning run. But this is why it's 2.5 the favourite. Birmingham, on paper, got an excellent chance. Middlesbrough, on paper, going through a bit of a lean spell. But it's 2.5 the favourite for a reason. Oftentimes, it's an unpredictable scoreline. Amiens and Estac Trois, you should, I hope, have been solidly with Estac Trois. My thinking being they will go top of French Ligue 2 with a win. It's a huge carrot. But similar story, Amiens, 4 points above the relegation zone. But they are there for a reason. Only 2 wins since the 28th of October. So I would be solidly with Estac Trois here. I would not expect them to be losing. I would be hoping for an Amiens opening goal, or I would be hoping for a 0-0 at half time. So let's have a look. Amiens v Trois. And I would also be laying the late draw. So let's have a look at the timings of the goals. 0-0 at half time. Yes, please. Definite, isn't it? Motivation's huge for both teams. Highly likely that Estac Trois will do the scoring. If they do, you lay the draw at half time. They score first, draw odds rise markedly because the favourites scored first. If you want to stay in, 0-2 is your perfect exit point for any lay the draw. So spot on that one. Now, Pisa and Bologna. You've always got with Pisa the possibility of a 0-0. Okay? And with Bologna, you've got a side improving, scoring 2 goals away in 3 consecutive away matches. So that is good stuff. So any 0-0 at half time, you would be looking to take that on with a view for Bologna scoring. But 0-0, I suppose, would be in play. But because they've failed to score in 7 out of 10 matches against the top 12. So you're going to have to rely on Bologna. 2 consecutive wins, scored and conceded last 6 away. That draw should be vulnerable. Let's have a look. It would be a big surprise with Pisa to get anything out of this particular match. 0-1, 90th minute. Goodness me. So if you did lay the draw at half time, you would be panicking a little, Mr. Mannering. Those of you who delayed entry would have been delighted with that. 0-0, as you can see, in play. So with sides like Pisa and Parma and Lecce, you could lay over 0.5 goals at the start of the match. 0-0 at half time. Lay the draw second half for a free bet. And if Bologna score, or if it ends without a score draw, you will profit. Udinese, Fiorentina, what's the first thing you notice? 2.4 the favourite. So like that Middlesbrough match, highly likely it's going to be a strange scoreline. Okay? 2.4 the favourite. It's very difficult to trust either of these two sides. Fiorentina have the motivating factor. They have conceded in the last 10 away matches. That is a big worry. So Fiorentina conceding today is not going to be a surprise. Udinese scored and conceded in all home matches against 11th and lower. Could give Fiorentina a possible chance. But only 2 away wins means they look pretty poor, don't they? And 2.4 the favourite suggests it's probably one for the neutral players. If if you take that 0-0 on at half-time. But an opening goal from Udinese, 10th minute. It's all dependent on the in-play stats, whether you see anything from Fiorentina. But Udinese, emphatic stuff. Typical scoreline of a 2.4, the favourite matches. I could not have foreseen such an emphatic home win, particularly given the need for Fiorentina. So sometimes the betting market can stop you from losing money. La Liga Portugal, Gil Vicente against Benfica, 1.56 for Benfica. 15 points shy of a top 3 European places. 3 consecutive home wins, scoring 2+ goals. Good stuff. Not beaten the top 3 home or away. Third, 10 points shy of top spot, unbeaten. 2+ goals scored in the last 3 matches. So this is all about whether Gil Vicente, who are in winning form, can continue that winning form. But they haven't beaten the top 3. It should be a trade. Let's have a look. Gil Vicente v Benfica. Right. Opening goal for Vangelis. 35th minute for Benfica. That's no problem at all. No real trade available. We could have done with Gil Vicente scoring the first goal. 52nd minute equaliser for Gil Vicente. Up to you whether you wanted to take on that draw late on. You don't have to. Benfica unbeaten this season. It doesn't mean they don't draw. So I couldn't see a trading angle in there yesterday, but this is absolutely spot on, isn't it? Really. An inability to beat the top 3. Not scoring 2 goals against the top 3. And Benfica remain unbeaten, scoring 2+ goals yet again. So as a trader, you could have latched onto that with the 1-1 draw mid part of the second half. Real Madrid and Getafe, 1.3 already. You've got, it's not a 2.4, the favourite match, is it? So you've got a clear bias. 5 consecutive home wins, scoring 2+ goals. Bit like the Barcelona juggernaut. Can we rely on that? We're going to lay any late draw as well. With Getafe, all defeats away against the top 5, failing to score. So it will be a big surprise if Getafe were to trouble Real Madrid, with all things being equal, i.e. no red cards or anything. Let's have a look at the scoreline. And bang! No red cards. Well, Franco Mastuantuoni, it's easy for you to say, red carded probably for having an unpronounceable surname. I think that's what the referee red carded him. Getafe scoring in the 39th minute. A clear trade there. You cover the 0-1 scoreline, is what I teach my members. And then you go, in this instance, match odds. Because, why do you go match odds? 5 consecutive home wins, scoring 2+ goals. Add 2 goals to this scoreline, and that's a home win. Before half-time, you've got a full second half to play. Really solid defensive display from Getafe. That's the motivating factor. A clear trade and a clear break-even trade. We were looking at the 2+ goals from Real Madrid, but we had that 0-1 covered. So I just thought I'd show you how the research is your foundation to making trading decisions, isn't it? And the matches yesterday, note the 2.5 and the 2.4, the favourite matches, huge scorelines, unexpected scorelines. Why? Because the bookmakers, if they can't pick a winner pre-match, take the hint. Okay? So let's have a look onto today. And if you haven't learnt anything from that previous video, then there is no hope for you. What is this to start off the Premier League? Say it with me, 2.5, the favourite, i.e. you saw yesterday's scoreline, 1-3 to Middlesbrough. This is an unknown factor, okay? Bournemouth and Brentford. So regardless of the research we've done, and I've done research, it's going to be one of those matches where anything would not surprise. So it's a difficult match to trade. Everton against Burnley, a real fight back from Burnley of late. But Everton, 1.57, clear favourite. Burnley have not beaten the top 13 away. But they have a significant milestone, which is to break into the 20-point barrier with a win today. So you're going to get a very, very defensive Burnley. Everton going through a bit of a lean spell at the moment. 2 consecutive home defeats. no win in 6 at home. An opportunity for Burnley to potentially surprise, particularly with that 3-4 last match. 20-plus point barrier for Burnley, so watch out for a very defensively set up side. Leeds against Sunderland. This is playing on Sunderland's poor travelling. Leeds, as you know, have only been beaten by, I think it's Newcastle, Arsenal, Manchester City, I think, since December. No win in 9 away for the Black Cats. Has us favouring Leeds, but this is a match where, for me, these two sides are similarly profiled, aren't they? Kind of got a feel of a championship type name about it. They could find each other better company. So Sunderland might overperform this evening. Wolves against Liverpool. Watch out, Wolves winning a match. It's one of the signs of the apocalypse when Wolves win a football match in the 2025-2026 season. But they do have some fight in them at the moment. Liverpool, obvious favourites away. 2+ goals scored in the last 2 at home for Wolves. Could be a banana skin for Liverpool. 100% wins v 16th and lower. Recent 1-0 wins away from home for Liverpool as well. They are a little reliant on that defence. With Wolves scoring 2+ goals all of a sudden, that might offer a trading outcome. We will see. Firmly with Liverpool today. Ipswich against Hull. Well, Ipswich at home are to be relied upon. But this is a top clash of 2 playoff teams. So you're going to get a Hull side who are going to be up for it. 2.25 the favourite, 2.4 the favourite, 2.45 the favourite. So if you learnt from yesterday's matches, it's a very difficult League One coupon. You can take your cues from the market, from the league positions, as to finding any carrot that stick. Barnsley, 44 points, mid-table safety. But a win takes them to 47, getting nearer to that 50+ points, which is required. Exeter, mid-table mediocrity. Burton, just below them. But only 3 points above the relegation zone, Burton. So that's going to fixate on them. Rotherham, an important win today, could take them out of the relegation zone. Huge motivating factor for them. Mansfield, mid-table again. But 4 points above the relegation zone, along with Exeter, 5 points above the relegation zone. They're not breathing safe just yet, are they? But Rotherham would be the standout match for me there from a motivating perspective. But the market's expecting an unexpected match. English League 2. And we've got the FA Cup at the weekend. So no Premier League football at the weekend, but we've got Premier League football today and tomorrow. Bromley find themselves on the top. And they're just evens today. Oldham, anything to motivate them? Well, 45 points. They need to get their skates on with the entry point to the playoffs at 55. Chesterfield and Colchester. Colchester on 49, going to the 50-point club with a win. That's a big carrot. Chesterfield, well, a win could take them into the playoffs. This is a playoff 6-pointer, Chesterfield and Colchester. Grimsby and Salford. But Salford, eking out a win after a terrible losing run, are clinging on to the last playoff place, and they're likely to be in trouble if they lose to Grimsby, because they could swap places. So this is another playoff 6-pointer. 2 of them in a row in League 2 this evening. Newport and Tranmere. Look down the bottom. Newport still not out of it by any stretch. A win today takes them to 28 points and will be pushing Barrow into the bottom 2. So Newport are at home in a 2.5 the favourite match, i.e. the market can't split these two. Tranmere on 35, still not safe yet, but safe enough. 8 points above the relegation zone, only 2 relegation places. So it's a pretty decent deal in League 2 for those having a poor season. There's plenty of motivating factors there today. FA Cup probably not going to play. Serie B, again, motivation. I would be keeping an eye on the likes of Venezia, Frosinone at the top because they're really going for it. Look at Venezia. They're odds on at home to Avellino today, so watch out for a bias towards the home side, of course. Reggiana Südtirol. Südtirol just outside the playoffs. Won't go into the playoffs, but will get within a point. So that's a big carrot for them today. Modena. Where are they? Modena and Entella. Entella in relegation trouble, but will go out of the relegation zone with a win. So big carrot for Entella with home advantage as well. Monza, second in the league against Cesena, who are the last playoff place. So both sides could do with 3 points. Monza to keep the gap between themselves and Frosinone for the automatic promotion. And Südtirol to have a shout at getting, not Südtirol, Cesena to have a shout at staying in the top 8 with 3 points today. Padova and Spezia just outside. Still must win for Padova, otherwise they're going to be a little bit adrift of the playoffs. Eredivisie as well. Cup day around Europe. One SPL match, probably not going to get my interest. And Winterthur we took on last week against St. Gallen. They scored first, lost 1-2. That's the expectation for today. They're one of those sides you tend to take on, Winterthur. So I'll see members of FootballTradingProfits.com on Telegram later on in what is an interesting coupon this evening. But if you learnt anything from yesterday, watch out for the 2.4 plus the favourite matches. They are priced to be difficult to read and difficult to trade. Have a great day, and I'll see you for the Premier League and all the rest later on.